Okay, on this video there's two things. One of them is an integer practice, and this is basically 22 problems, and that will simplify with quick explanation. And the other one right after that will be integer retest problems. So for all those people who want to retest their integer exam, they failed it, and they want to retest it, you're going to have to copy these 11 problems that I'm going to go over at the very end after this. And then it must be copied and completed. There's 11 problems. And then you have to give it to your teacher if you want to retest. So again, I'm going to go over 22 problems very quickly with explanations. And then after that, there's 11 problems that you need to show to your teacher if you want to retest. Let me quickly go over some rules when we are combining integers. So for example, if we have a double negative, that's what I call a double negative. It's like it becomes a great big plus. If we have integers with the same signs, just add the numbers. So for example, -2 and -3, that's -5. You're just adding the numbers. And by the way, it doesn't have to have a plus in there. So this -3 is the same thing as adding a -3. So consider it negative. -2, consider that a -3. -2 and -3 is -5. And also, if they're different signs, we want to subtract the numbers. So for here, that's a negative and that's a positive. We need to subtract the 2. Well, 8 take away 6 is 2, and there's more positive. Now, in this case, they're different, but there's more negative. So again, 8 take away 6 is 2, but there's more negative, therefore it's negative. One thing that's helped out many students when doing these problems is think of the negatives as being boys and the positives as being girls. Now that's a -2, so there's 2 boys. And that's a -3, so there's three more boys. So what do we have together? We have 5 boys, 5 negatives. And over here, if I have this, for this example here, this is +6, so that's 6 girls. And over here, this is 8 boys. Now, if they pair up and go dancing, who's left? Who's left is this right here. 2 boys are left, -2. So if you want to, think of this as being boys and girls, and they pair up and go dancing, and who is left over? Who's left not dancing? Okay, so I'll quickly do 22 problems, and you can either watch or you can write these down and practice yourself and stop anytime. Okay, so let's see, I got 30 boys and 19 girls. So what I'm going to have to do is subtract them. So 30 take away 19 is, what's that, 11? And there's more boys. It's 11 boys. I just subtracted the numbers, right? 30 take away 19 is 11, but there's more boys. It's more negative. Okay, I have a double negative. That's a big plus. Well, 32 and 16 is 48, right? That's positive, that's positive. Positive 48. Okay, let's see. Here's my negatives right there. I have a -6. And then I have 3 and 7 girls. That's 10. Positive 10. Since they're different, 6 boys, 10 girls, I'll just subtract. 10 take away 6 is 4. And there's more positive. There's more girls. Next one, I have a double negative, so I'll make that a big plus. And if you look, that's a positive, that's a positive, and that's a positive. They're all positives, so I'll just add them up. So let's see, 8 and 3 is 11. 11 and 4 is 15. Positive 15. Oh, we have a double negative here. That's now a positive 1, not -1. And a double negative here. That's now a positive 6. Notice now they're all positive. Positive 3, positive 1, positive 6. That's 4 and 6 is 10. Positive 10. Oh, double negative again. That's a big plus. So now that's a positive 9. Okay, but this is a -6, and this is a -4. Okay, so these two together, there's 6 boys and 4 boys. That makes 10 boys. And then you have a plus 9. Okay, so I have more boys than girls. 10 take away 9 is 1. Negative 1. All right. Oops, excuse me. All right, that's negative. This is a negative. That's just saying and negative 2. And that's a negative. All these are negative. So all these are boys. How many boys do we have? We have 1 and 2 is 3, and 5 is 8. 8 boys. Excuse me. Okay, let's see. No double negatives. That's a negative. Now again, this is a negative. And negative 2. And 2 boys. And 8 boys. So they're all negative. So we just add them together. 6 and 2 is 8. And 8 and 8 is 16. There's a total of 16 boys. Okay, on this one, let's see. That's negative. And another negative. And a positive 1. And a 1. Well, negative 4, that's just 8 boys. Okay, so I need to subtract them. 8 take away 1 is 7, and there's more negative. There's more boys. Okay, here, 5 and negative 6. That's a negative. And negative 9. All right, so how many negatives do I have here? 6 and 9, that's 15. 15 boys. And then I have 5 girls. Okay, if they go dancing, there's going to be a bunch of guys left over. There's going to be 10 guys not dancing. 15 take away 5 is 10, and there's more negative. Okay, let's see. That's a negative 3. And that's that was plus 8, by the way. So let's see. I have negative 3. 8, 2, and 8, that's 10. So 10 girls and 3 boys. So there's more girls, definitely. 10 take away 3 is 7. The answer is 7. Positive 7. All right, let's see. Here's a double negative, so let's make that a plus. And I see I have one negative, a negative 2. All right, minus 2 and negative 2 are the same. So I have 2 boys. And I have 6 and 5, that's 11. 11 positive, or 11 girls. Well, I have more girls than boys. 11 take away 2 is 9. It's positive 9. Okay, now we get into different rules of multiplying. So when we're adding and subtracting negatives, negative signs, we're basically just combining. We're basically combining numbers, positive and negatives together. So these are the rules we use for those. But for multiply and divide, it's different. And the simple rule for multiply and divide is just count the negative signs. If there's 2 negative signs, they cancel. So for example, in this one right here, negative 3 times 8, 3 times 8 is 24, but there's only 1 negative sign. Therefore, the answer is negative. 3 times 8 is 24. There are 2 negative signs. 2 negatives cancel when multiplying or dividing. Now here, if I'm dividing, 10 divided by 2 is 5. There's 1 negative sign. The answer is negative. Here, 10 divided by 2 is 5, but there's 2 negative signs. 2 negative signs cancel. All right, so that's just it. And multiply and divide, 2 negatives cancel. Okay, so 4 times 7, that's 28, and there's 1 negative. So the answer is negative, negative 28. Here, 8 times 9, that's 72, and there's 2 negatives. 2 negatives cancel. So it's positive 72. Okay, so now for those of you who are wanting to retest, here's are the integer retest problems. There's 11 of them, and I'll even do them with you. You can pause, though, if you'd like. You can write the problem, pause it, and then see if you did it correctly the same as I did. All right, so here's our first problem. Negative 31 plus, if you want to pause it, go ahead and do so now. All right, since they're different signs, I'll subtract 42, take away 31. You know, if you did this, is 11, right? And there's more positive, so it's positive 11. That's 2 minus 9, if you want to pause now. Okay, so you have a negative 9. There's more negative. There's more boys than there are girls. How many more? There's 7, right? 9 take away 2 is 7. Pause if you're writing this down. All right, I have a double negative. And so let's see, that means I just have one negative, negative 1, and these are positive, girls. 9 and 2 makes 11. Okay, so I have 11 girls, 1 boy. 11 minus 1 is 10, and there's more positive. There's more girls. All right, I have a negative 8, and I have a negative 9. Minus a negative, think of them the same. So that makes 17 boys. And there's 2 girls. Well, I definitely have more boys, so how many more? 17 take away 2 is 15. Pause now if you want to try on your own. All right, let's see. That's negative. This is also negative because this is a plus negative. That's negative 2. This is negative. This minus 8. That's negative 8. These are all negative. I just add them up. 4 and 2 is 6. 6 and 8 is 14. Okay? There's 14 boys there. Multiplication. 4 times 3 is 12. 2 negatives, cancel. It's positive 12. All right, I'm going to rearrange this. I'm going to do this first. 5 times 4 is 20. So I have negative 8 times 20. Well, 8 times 2 is 16, and then I add a 0. And there's only one negative. So the answer is negative. Same rules when dividing. 3 goes into 15 5 times. There's one negative. Nine goes into 90. And 2 negatives cancel. Again, pause if you're writing this down. Okay, so I have my times and I have my divide. I'll do my times stuff first, this here first. 8 times 2 is 16. The 2 negatives cancel. Over here, 6 divided by 3 is 2, and they're both positive, so it's a positive 2. If it's a positive 2, it should have a plus in front of it. 16 and 2 is 18. Last one. It's probably the trickiest. Okay, I'm going to do this times first. 10 times 8. 1 negative. Now, I have a double negative. I'm just going to make that a plus right now. 20 divided by 2 is 10. And that's a positive 10, right? Positive 20, there's no negatives. So if that's a positive 10, I'll put plus 10. And 80 take away 10 is 70, right? There's 70 more boys. 70 boys left not dancing. What a shame. Okay, so turn this into your teacher if you want to retest on integers.